Good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you are listening or watching to the Binkz and Doodle Effect, episode number 31. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, and joined with me, as always, I have DrewskiDoodle. And how are you doing this week, DrewskiDoodle?
I'm doing great. Dom Smith just went Yardo, so how can we not be doing great? And the Rangers are winning 4-1.
Absolutely. Live take on when we're recording this
episode. Exactly.
Binkz and Doodle Effect, presented to you by Lividity. And also Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is a premium energy and focus supplement designed to optimize your mental and physical performance. And unlike unhealthy canned energy drinks, the powerful supplement can be taken daily for overall improved performance. It's packed with vitamins, amino acids, and it's a healthy way to increase your natural energy. I take it right before I work out. We recommend getting the starter package. You get a shaker cup and 4 or 5 little packets to try. If you use the code GETLIVID on the bottom of the screen, you'll get 5% off your entire purchase. That's GETLIVID. Hit us up. Let us know you use the code Rogue Energy. That is a wrap on that. Get hype. Baseball is back, Andrew. I know
not as quickly for some as for others.
I know we were saying that, last week, and we were all hyped for opening day. We'll get into baseball. We're going to touch on a few things before that, though. We can start with the NBA. Probably the biggest thing in the NBA going on right now is that they are no longer testing for weed, marijuana. And if you guys don't live in New York and wherever you guys live, New York just got recreationally legalized in New York, so good for them. And so many states are slowly legalizing it, so it does make sense that the NBA is now no longer testing for it, which I agree with. If recreationally, I totally believe in marijuana. So if you want to smoke it, there should be no penalty in you smoking it and then not being able to play sports. So
can agree there.
I'm sure Le'Veon Bell would have liked to have lived in this time, because how many times did that man get suspended off of marijuana while he was young on the Steelers?
732.
You have one job, man, at the time. All you had to do was just not smoke weed. But hopefully other organizations and, not organizations, other sports start to, follow suit. The NBA is the first. Staying forward with basketball, we have the end of March Madness. I know Andrew had no view time in at all March Madness.
If there is anything I know less about than basketball, it is college basketball.
I prefer college ball over the NBA. I can watch every single March Madness game. I can't watch an NBA game. It makes no sense to me. I don't know why, but I have watched every single March Madness game that was on in March. But congratulations to Baylor. They beat Gonzaga, who was undefeated, had an insane win streak, and was pretty much blowing out teams left and right. And Baylor manhandled Gonzaga in the finals. Absolutely props to them. They came prepared. Gonzaga clearly didn't. I feel like Gonzaga was coming off of that hype that they had against UCLA in the Final Four, and if you guys saw that game, it was 2-3 seconds left. Gonzaga inbounded it, and it was pretty much a half-court shot, banked it in for the 3 to win the game in overtime. They was about to go to a second overtime, but that half-court shot put them into the finals. So I feel like they were living off that high, and they never came back down to prepare for the actual championship game, while Baylor took care of business in its Final Four game and probably came more mentally prepared and ready to play. So good for them. Congratulations to Baylor. Gonzaga chokes once again in the within the Final Four. I think there was a stat they were within the Final Four for the past 9 or so years in a row, and they just can't win. Gonzaga.
You hate to see it.
So
they can't finish.
You can't finish. But congratulations to Baylor, all in all. Moving forward to more of the meat and potatoes of this podcast, we're going to go into the NFL, and the biggest news that we have, Andrew, what is it?
Sam Darnold go bye-bye from the Jetsies.
I'm gonna let
He's going to go be a Panther.
I was gonna say I'm gonna let you start with how you feel about Sam Darnold leaving the Jets, and I'll definitely throw in my 2 cents on Sammy D.
So Darnold going to Carolina for a 6th-round pick this year and a 2nd and a 4th next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say Carolina won the trade. Don't agree with the move on the Jets' part. I think they had bigger holes to fill than quarterback that were more pressing that they could have used that number 2 pick to fill. And yeah, that's where I'm sitting with that. I think that Darnold's going to go have a pretty good year with Carolina. But I know there's somebody, I'm not going to name him by names. He's like right next to me that feels the opposite.
I'm ecstatic that Darnold is no longer a Jet. However, for the overall aspect of the Jets, I personally agree with you, Andrew. I don't think trading Darnold was the actual move that was necessary at the time. As happy and as ecstatic as I am that I don't ever have to see that man in a Jet uniform ever again, I think there are bigger fish to fry for the team as a whole to move forward and progress. Do I think Darnold was an issue? 110%. Do I think he was the biggest issue? No. Gase was definitely one of the biggest issues, and we did take care of that. That man should be flipping burgers at McDonald's because there's no reason why that man should ever have a coaching spot in the NFL ever again on any team. Quarterback guru, my absolute ass. I mean, look at Tannehill under him on the Dolphins, and then look at Tannehill as soon as he became a Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Darnold sucked under Bowles, and Sam Darnold sucked under Gase. So we'll see if Sam Darnold sucks under a third coach. I personally, though, would have kept Darnold for this year with the acquisition of Davis. I would have... Now, people, you can get mad at me in the comments. I don't even care. You can come attack me. I'm going to stand by what I'm going to say. I would draft a wide receiver at number 2. I don't care.
I agree. I completely agree with you.
I don't care.
Completely agree.
You're in the draft to draft one of the best, the best possible people you can in your position. Granted, does our offensive line absolutely need help? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, because if you are not winning at the O-line and you're getting destroyed, I mean, look at Tampa Bay and the Chiefs. The defensive line overpowered the offensive line. As good as Mahomes is, they couldn't do anything. I mean, so the battle starts at the line on both ends, defense and offense. Would I immediately say, hey, let's use our number 2 pick, though, for an offensive lineman? No.
I can't see a pick that high getting used on a non-skill position. If you even pick that high, it's got to be a QB, a wide receiver, a running back, or even say like a cornerback or a free safety or something. It's got to be a highlight type of position.
Absolutely. I would have loved to have drafted Devonta Smith at number 2, pick up a running back at 23, and I am actually, and I'm going to say it here for the record, I am a huge, huge fan of Trask on the Gators. And he is so slept on by every report analysis. He's probably going to go second roundish, and the Jets probably could get him in the second round if we drafted a wide receiver and a running back, or a wide receiver and an offensive lineman, for that matter, at number 23, if you want to start building the line, because that is something that the Jets need to do. And until we pretty much have a solid offensive line, no matter who you have back there, they're going to struggle.
They get crushed, yeah.
They're going to get crushed. But regardless of the matter, I said from draft day, watching Darnold in college, I said that he was never going to be an NFL quarterback. I truly didn't believe he had the talent to play at the NFL level. I still stand by that. Can you make the argument that Darnold never had any weapons or who was never given a chance? Absolutely. You can. But on the flip side of that, because now people are saying, oh, he's going to ball out with, Robbie Anderson. And, he had He had success with Robbie Anderson when Robbie Anderson was a Jet. Granted, the man still, regardless, in his lifetime career, has only thrown 42 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, and has a passer rating of like 33 for all 3 years. And you could only use the argument of he has no help for so much, where if you're gonna throw 39 interceptions in 3 years, it's kind of on you at that point. I don't care how good of the receivers you have. You're making poor choices. You're making bad decisions, and that's what Darnold did a lot. He made stupid decisions, and that's why I never humored, oh, he has no help, oh, he has no receivers, oh, he has no line. Darnold still made dumb decisions every single game. You don't throw 39 interceptions and consider yourself, you can't blame that on your offense. That is solely on you. If your receivers are that bad and they can't get open, then you're throw the ball away. You don't cause turnovers on yourself, in my opinion. And until he can maybe mature a little bit and stop being a dumbass as a quarterback, no matter where Darnold's going to be, he's still going to suck. Will he be better as a Panther than he is as a Jet? 100%. Is he ever going to win a Super Bowl as a starting quarterback? I would bet my life savings that man never has a ring as a starting quarterback. I would be impressed if he even made the playoffs. But I could see the Panthers being a wild card threat. Not division. I can see them being like in the hunt week 14, week 15, just because of the whole team around Darnold. Do I think he has a talent to actually bring the Panthers into the postseason? Like, you can maybe argue, like I said, in the hunt, you can maybe argue a wild card. Will he go far in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Will he ever win a Super Bowl? I will bet my life savings that man will never have a ring. Never. The only time he'll get a ring is if he's a backup and someone carried him to the Super Bowl. So,
who the hell is this level-headed individual speaking right now? I expected someone who has gone off the deep end with hatred, because 98% of that was completely level-headed, and I'm taken aback, and I don't know what to say anymore. I expected smoke coming out of the ear, spitting on the camera.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's how I feel. I've always said, and I have been shit on for the past 3 years, where people saying, "Oh, he's a good quarterback. You need to give him a chance." Oh, he's a good. The man is not a good quarterback, and are you really gonna look at me and say, forget about names, forget about the name Sam Darnold? Are you as a coach or a GM going to take a quarterback that you know doesn't have the talent to bring you to a Super Bowl ever in your life? If the answer to that is no, then he shouldn't ever be on your team. Period. You need to have the best player. The quarterback is one of the most important positions in football. And if Sam Darnold doesn't have the talent to ever go to a Super Bowl and win it, then what are you doing? You are just wasting years of your team and your team's talent and your team's young kids looking to win the Super Bowl, because you're never going to have the talent under center to do it.
Well, you know what? We're going to find... This is a big year. We're going to find that out this year.
Absolutely. And
it's a very telling year.
And listen, I wish Sam Darnold a bunch of credit. If you ever listened or hear this, I think you suck. But prove me wrong. You haven't proved me wrong in 3 years. So prove me wrong. I do want to note, though, that Sam Darnold's first and last throw as a Jet was an interception, and his first throw was a pick six. That should have just showed us it all.
Dude.
You can go haunt and take your ghosts to Carolina. For the Jets, I don't think I agree with Wilson being drafted, personally. Not really impressed with any of the quarterbacks in this draft other than Trevor Lawrence and Trask. And like I said, Trask is so slept on. I believe Trask has better numbers than Burrow, and everyone was like fangirling over Burrow. I like Trask. Trask is going to be a sleeper pick that whoever gets him is going to be solid in the quarterback position for years to come.
Don't worry, I'm sure Bill Belichick knows that.
I'm sure many people know that, and they're just like not reporting on it. But like Trask, I think, is like the number 2 quarterback in the draft behind Trevor Lawrence, if I'm being honest here. So we'll see. That's why I said don't take Zach Wilson, New York Jets. Just draft a wide receiver, draft a running back. If you want to draft an O-lineman, go for it. You can get Trask in the 2nd round, and you're going to have the 2nd best quarterback coming out of this draft class. Take it to the grave.
There you go, NYJ.
NYJ, listen to me, GM. Man. Listen to me. I'm telling you right now, I'm not impressed with any quarterback other than Trevor Lawrence and Trask. So.
When's the draft?
That's my take. When is the draft?
Is it this month?
Is it? I mean, let me actually look that up right now. The NFL draft for... I feel like it was in April. It is...
April 29th.
April 29th.
Thursday, April 29th.
So April 29th, the Jets will disappoint me for the first time in 2021. Can't wait. They always do. I don't know if you saw the stat, Andrew, that for the past 7 years, every number 1 draft pick the Jets have had, they've either cut or traded. Since 2012, every number 1 pick the Jets have had, we have traded or cut.
That's poor scouting department.
They're not bad players. They leave the organization and they're good.
Yeah,
they're not bad.
That is disappointing.
We're just in constant rebuild mode. It's just a never-ending cycle of just a headache. So,
you know who else disappoints on 2 fronts?
Let's hear it.
The New York Mets.
Absolutely, knew you were going with this.
One of them wasn't their fault. One of them was their fault. So you all can imagine our lives of mediocrity sitting at work on April 1st, all excited that the Mets are going to finally play some baseball. 1:30 hits, we get the news that the Nationals have COVID and the game is not going to happen. I was sitting at work because I ended up having to work. I wasn't supposed to work that day and I had to work. And I saw that and I immediately just put my head on my desk and didn't move for a solid 5 minutes. I hadn't felt that level of disappointment in a while. Just having something and having it ripped away from me. The only solace was that the Rangers played that night, so I still had something to watch. But it wasn't the same. I was excited for opening day, and the goddamn Washington Nationals, the bane of the Mets' existence in the modern times, ruins our lives again. Upsetting, to say the least. Watching everybody else have fun, and the Mets don't get to play. Putting Jacob DeGrom on ice, they just made him angry. And he ended up getting more angry, and we'll talk about why. And Steve will talk about why.
I was heated. I definitely was heated about that.
Opening day was good for everybody else, though.
Yeah.
It was a nice opening day. The Orioles The Orioles swept the Red Sox out of nowhere. Trey Mancini, with his first games back since getting chemotherapy for, I think he had colon cancer, is back and he's having a great season. It was a great opening day.
To be fair, the Red Sox really suck.
They played like poopy. That is correct.
They're not good. The Orioles are not going to keep that level of energy up, but like the Red Sox suck.
Nah, they're not great. That is correct.
No, I just want to touch like when you said opening day, April 1st. I was actually when I heard the news, I was laying in bed. I was just relaxing. I was getting ready. I was looking forward to DeGrom to pitch. And I got that notification on my phone from ESPN saying that it was, canceled. And I just stared at like you said, you just kind of like motionless for 5 minutes. I just stared at my phone, and I just couldn't believe that we had to wait another 3 days to watch the Mets, and it was so disappointing. And I know you said the Rangers got to play some silver lining. There was no silver lining for me. I wanted nothing but to watch the Mets play baseball and have baseball on my TV again. And it was just so heartbreaking. And to lose the opener, if we go all of 2021 like this again for like the same shit, different year of the bullpen just not coming through for us, I'm going to lose my shit. And and so help me God, if Rojas, or however you say his name, I hate him. I don't like our manager. If he ever pulls Jake prior to the 8th inning ever again, Daddy Cohen, just fire his ass on the spot. There's 7. You let Jake go over 90 pitches in spring training for him to go 77 in 6 innings in an opening day. I just want to know the logic.
The only thing, and I completely, let me set the record straight. I completely 100% agree with you. There's no reason Jacob DeGrom should be pulled with 77 pitches thrown, throwing a shutout. Apparently, when Rojas and whoever the hell their pitching coach is went to talk to Jake after the 6th inning, and they told him that they were going to take him out, DeGrom, in a not very DeGrom fashion, didn't fight back. Do I believe that? Not completely. If that is true, and he did not fight to stay in the game, then I believe he was genuinely tired after what happened. Probably getting warmed up in the morning of opening day and having to sit back down and having to play simulated games, and he maybe just wasn't feeling it. If that's true, I'm semi-okay with the move because DeGrom hinted at not being all 100% there. But again, it lies to do I believe that? And not fucking really. You tell me that the 32-year-old phenom of a pitcher was that bothered by a couple extra days of icing? I don't believe it. But again, devil's advocate, if that was the case, then okay, fair play.
I would take a 70% ready to go DeGrom over anyone in our bullpen.
Well, yeah.
I don't trust a single soul in that New York Met bullpen. Great opening time for Trevor May, my man. You are fitting to the New York Met bullpen. You're fitting right in. You're doing great. Keep up the good work, Trevor May. I'm so glad we signed you to improve us. I know.
At least he's a proven pitcher. He'll be okay.
I know it's one game. I feel bad for the man.
Flunking the guy.
I feel bad. Can you imagine Jake on the Yankees? That man should have an extra 100 wins in his career that he doesn't have, and that alone, that is just so sad and heartbreaking that guy has lost so many wins because he's come out of the game and the bullpen just shits the bed. And why do we never have any sort of run support when he pitches? Ever. We'll come out in the next 4 games and score 7 runs. Jake pitches. Nah, 1 or 2. 1 or 2. It every time. Every time.
It never fails. At least at this point, he's over it, and I think just wants to see how low of an ERA he can finish the season with. Which I'm okay with. Just, play your heart out, okay?
Yeah, just we'll have another 7-win Cy Young winner again. No biggie. Yeah, incoming 7-win Cy Young winner again. It's okay. The greatest pitcher in baseball.
Do you know who had massive run support and almost blew it? The man of the summer, Trevor Bauer. Man had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning, winning 10-0. Leaves the game with a 5.54 ERA after giving up 6 runs after blowing his no-hitter. And I love to see it.
Imploded.
Love to see it. Literally imploded. And that was a Colorado thing. You only see that shit in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But it was awesome. From anybody who's not a Dodger fan, that was awesome.
Us Met fans want to see Bauer just get.
Yeah.
I want to see him get lit up every start. I want to see him get lit up at this point.
9.32 ERA to finish the year. It's what I want to see.
Hopefully. The Yankees lost the opener as well.
That was great.
They probably should not have lost the opener, just like the Mets should not have lost the opener. I mean, they did fall apart. The Yankees should have had that game won. So, a little surprising there.
Yeah.
The Yankees are going to win that division, though. The Yankees start off slow pretty much every single year, and midway through the season, they'll start heating up. The issue with their lineup, Andrew, and you can agree or disagree with me, hands down, anyone on that team batting 1 through 9 could put it out of the park. Especially in Yankee Stadium, because like that
I could hit a home run
anyone
out to
could
right
hit,
field.
anyone could hit a home run in right field in Yankee Stadium. They need to work on actual contact of the ball. You see the Yankees either swing for the fences for a home run or they're striking out, and they strike out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And runners on scoring position, they're not moving runners over. They're not getting key base hits to bring runs in. And it's not even like just the first 4 games that they're having now. I mean, you see this same pretty much Yankee lineup for like the past 2 or 3 years now. It's the same thing every year. Their home run, explode for a bunch of runs or nothing. And there's no middle ground for the Yankees, and that's going to win them the division. Because look at their division. It's a complete joke. Let's be real. We're going to call a spade here. The AL East is the joke. Yankees, it's their division to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But for people to say... Listen, I personally still think they're like one of the biggest favorites in the American League. I think they can turn it around. But right now, they're following the same suit for the past 2 years, where it's pretty much home run or bust for the New York Yankees. And that's something they need to work on this year. Is just making solid contact base hits. The only person in their lineup who can do that is LeMahieu.
Yeah, well, I mean LeMahieu's the best at it, which helps them, but it ain't gonna do much for you. Only one guy can do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I mean Judge, as great defensively as he is with his arm, he strikes out so many times. Stanton strikes out. I mean Stanton, when he was in Miami. Well, he had like 59 home runs and like 200 strikeouts. Like you can't do that, man. You cannot strike out that many times. You're getting paid millions upon millions to just hit the ball.
Just make some contact.
Put it in play.
Well, something else that I gave some thought into that made me super excited. So everyone knows that the MLB moved the All-Star game from Atlanta to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't think is clicking in people's heads. That means the home run derby is in Colorado. I want to see that home run derby with Judge, Stanton, Alonso, Joey Gallo, and just the beefiest guys you can think of launching 600-foot bombs.
That ball's going to sail.
Am so hyped for that. A home run derby in Colorado. That is just going to be fantastic. Normally I could absolutely give a shit about the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
The home run derby is fun to watch, but like that's gonna be so dope. It's just gonna be moonshot after moonshot.
You hope.
You hope, yeah. With the new dead balls, apparently, you never know. But
I can't remember the last time I even watched an All-Star game. To be honest with you, I think the last time I watched an All-Star game, David Wright was like in his prime.
I usually just watch when DeGrom pitches and then turn it off.
I don't even care about that. I watched the home run derby. Because like that's fun to watch, but like and
you can make a drinking game out of it.
You can, and like maybe after this podcast, you can tell me said drinking game because I'm intrigued to hear about this.
So it's every time what's his name says back. Oh, it's 6 drinks. Sorry, bud.
So you're basically saying in the first round you're completely messed up.
You're going to die. Yes.
Oh man. Moving forward, though, we have, I'm going to say his name wrong. I know I am. I'm going to butcher this guy's name.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, thank you for saying it because I was going to butcher it. On the Angels, before we get into it, this is the first time since 1976 that an American League team has chosen to use a pitcher as a DH, which then technically, not really a DH then at that point, but but it's the first time since 1976 that an American League team has chose to do that. And the first pitch this guy saw, he sent to the moon, and he just absolutely destroyed it. There's a bet in Vegas, 20 wins and 20 home runs for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the odds on that are just I don't know the odds, but like it's something that you can put like $5 on and win like over $1,000, like well over $1,000, like maybe.
And honestly, the 20 home runs is almost definitely going to happen.
The 20 wins.
The Angels can support them. If the Angels can support it enough to get to 20 wins.
Mm-hmm.
With that division, it depends who they play. Like, he definitely could. Depends how he matches up.
Did he even get the win? I feel like he didn't get the win. I feel like he hit the
he left the game early. He only went 5 innings.
Yeah, I don't think he got the win.
He had that pass ball. He was covering home, and he got tackled, basically. But he's fine. He DH'd the next day.
Yeah, he's good. He's chilling.
But the sound that ball made coming off the bat was so beautiful.
You knew it was gone immediately.
And for a brief moment, before Jacob DeGrom threw 11 pitches, Shohei Ohtani had the fastest pitch thrown in the league and the fastest exit velo on a ball in the league. Again, this is until Jacob DeGrom, woke up.
And hit and chose to hit like 101.
Yeah. But that's wild to think about how a pitcher has the fastest exit velo and the fastest pitch thrown in the year. Like, wild.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what, the odds in that in Vegas were. If you could even bet that,
infinite. They just keep feeding you money.
Yeah, pretty much. So good for you, man. That is also that. Not only is that the first time since 1976, but it is the first time in 118 years of baseball that a pitcher has batted in the first or second spot in the lineup. 118 years. It's the first time ever. History was an anomaly. Yeah, history was made.
That's why I'm very happy I have him on my fantasy baseball team.
There you go. You were loving life at that point, were you?
Hell yeah.
Well, speaking of fantasy baseball, if you have Tatis Jr., you're kicking yourself right now. You're hurting.
Yeah. You are not in a good place.
I don't even know how to say the word subluxation.
Subluxation, I think it's called, but it's a freaking dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, whatever Andrew just said, that's what Tatis has. Basically what you said, dislocated shoulder. Could miss 6 months though.
Depending on severity, God, you hope he doesn't miss 6 months of base. That's the whole season.
It's essentially
that brings you to October.
Do the Padres still have a wild card? Because I think we both agreed that it's the Dodgers division. Do the Padres still have a wild card without Tatis?
No.
You think they missed the playoffs?
Absolutely not. Yep. I don't think they do it. They're already missing Mike Clevenger, and now they're going to miss him. I don't think they do. They better hope he's going to miss maybe a month or two.
Yeah, our predictions are looking pretty grim 4 days into the season.
Yeah. I mean, that you just hate to see that. Literally the future of baseball. And, dude, it's a non-contact injury, which is always the scariest, no matter what sport you're looking at.
Those are always the worst.
I am terrified of dislocating something, so I can only imagine how that felt. We're really hoping for a quick comeback, but he was in pain.
You hate to see it, especially a young talent like that. You absolutely hate to see.
He's just so good for the game of baseball. Like, he's just a happy dude with a lot of swag. You need him back.
He just has fun, and that's what more players need to do is just have fun playing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrapping it up in baseball, Andrew, we have Nick Castellanos. I know you know more about that than I do. You saw it, I did not, and
the man with some attitude. This year's Joe Kelly so far. So here's what happened, dude. It's good for the rivalry. So Nick Castellanos on the Reds. He's at bat. Pitcher throws a little inside to him, plunks him, goes on base. A couple batters later, ball the outfield, he's coming home. Pitcher goes to cover home. It might have been a pass ball. Either way. Pitcher's covering home. This is not why it happened, but while Castellanos is sliding headfirst into home plate, the pitcher is catching the ball, kneeling on top of Nick Castellanos. It was completely accidental, but he's riding him like a surfboard. Castellanos gets up, looks directly at the pitcher who was on the ground, flexes at him, and apparently yells some expletive, "Let's go." And then the Yadier Molina, the catcher for the Cardinals, takes a lot of exception to that and starts screaming in his face. And chaos ensued. Benches cleared, all that fun. Typical baseball, pushing around, not an actual fight, but, typical thing. Nick Castellanos at that time was like, oh, what did I do? He's standing in the back, just all subdued and shit. What did I do? Because I'm sure in the moment he didn't even realize what he was screaming into the pitcher's face.
Absolutely.
And then, so that's all going on. He's talking to Yadier Molina, who was the most pissed off by this. And Castellanos, I guess, is showing kind of respect and non-aggression. His hands are behind his back. And this kind of talking, I'm sure Yadi was telling him, don't do that shit. And Nick was agreeing. Because if Yadier Molina tells you something, you agree with it. But yeah, and then out of that, which this is ridiculous, Castellanos gets suspended for 2 games. All he did was scream in the pitcher's face. He did not, in that fight, he didn't even touch anybody. He was completely separated, backing away. Like, 2 games for yelling? Come on. SAWFT soft.
Yeah. I don't have any input.
Like, what is it?
I don't have input on that. I mean, like I said, you're the one who pretty much saw. I had no idea. But yeah, no, for yelling in the pitcher's face, that's kind of bullshit. At that
It's
point.
literally the equivalent of like you playing pickup basketball and someone dunks over you, goes "Let's go" in your face, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, it's
Like the dude didn't even throw a punch.
That's kind of bull.
It was awful.
No, completely.
And my favorite part was in an interview afterwards. They asked Castellanos about Yadier Molina, and Castellanos goes, Yadi could punch me in the face, and I'd still ask him for a signed jersey. Which, yeah. That'll be a fun rivalry to watch, though, the Reds and the Cardinals, for the rest of the year.
Will be fun. We can wrap it up. I don't know if... So, real quick, Andrew, I don't know if it was like an April Fool's thing, and I feel like it probably was, because I can't find anything on it anymore. But the whole Manfred wanting to put targets in the outfield over the wall, where if you hit the target, it was going to count as a 5-run home run. So a grand slam, if you hit the target, would count as 9 runs.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that was April Fool's because
but
2 reasons. One, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I feel like, though, I didn't read it on April 1st, though. That's the thing. So, I haven't been able to find anything on it since I read the article, but I was looking through that and I was like, if they do this to baseball, like, I don't know if I could, like, watch it. Can you imagine a 9-run home run because they hit the target in outfield as a grand slam?
No, you have turned it into an arcade game. Luckily, I don't see shit on Google, so that doesn't look like it's going to be a thing.
Sounds good to me. But for the other viewers who like saw that article, like, can you reply in the comments and like just assure me that it was an April Fool's joke, because that can't happen. If that happens, we all like riot at Manfred's house.
If you agree with it, I openly invite you to fight me.
If you agree with that, just stop watching baseball. We don't even want you to be a fan of the sport. Just stop watching baseball. Stop watching sports.
Yeah, none of that shit. Go watch League.
Yeah, do something else. But yeah, that was a pretty solid episode. We went longer than usual. I think we had a great little discussion this week, Andrew.
I agree, Mr. Level-Headed.
Thank you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I feel like I let you down. That you were waiting for like a Steve explosion or like rant and like completely go into. But like, listen,
it's okay.
That's how I feel.
It's just because Familia didn't blow that game. If it was him, then different story.
If it was Familia who blew that opening day game, we're not even gonna discuss on how my attitude would have changed while talking about.
I would have heard you scream, and we live a half hour away.
For the viewers who don't know, I have hated that man since we were in the World Series in 2015. When people called him the next Mariano Rivera, I straight up told them, "You're an idiot."
Big L.
I despise that man. I don't want to see him in a Met uniform. I'm disgusted that he's still in a Met uniform. He is the worst pitcher in that bullpen. I would feel more confident pitching than he. And I can't throw the ball more than 70 miles an hour. My fastball would be like a 71, 72 mile an hour fastball at most. And I would feel more confident.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a thumbs up on the bottom. Hit that like button. Really helps out the channel, really helps out the video if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We upload every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. Comment down below if you have a topic you want to discuss or want us to hear about. If you have any questions or topics that you want to hear about, you could also DM us on Twitter. Our Twitter has been going along right here for the majority of the episode, as well as our taglines individually are underneath us, as always. If you were listening to where you listen to podcasts, give us a 5-star review. And if we see it, we will shout you out on the future episode. But other than that, we hope you guys enjoyed. And until next week, guys.
Deuces.
Peace out.